Hello everyone, welcome to Barca News. It is January 4th, 2025, and Hansi Flick has broken Tito Vilanova's elusive record. Also, Robert Lewandowski nearing an elite list that includes Lionel Messi. And finally, I'm going to tell you about how Real Madrid passed on the signing of Pedri. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mo, and I'm officially back home. It's so good to be back home. Tonight, I get to sleep in my own bed. And guess what? I don't get to make videos inside of a closet. That's always a win. But anyways, it's back to your regularly scheduled videos now. And of course, tomorrow, Monday, we will have the podcast. So I hope to see all of you there. Anyways, let's begin with the news because as you know by now, of course, Barcelona defeated Espanol 0-2 with goals of Dani Olmo and Robert Lewandowski. I did the post-match live analysis. If you want to hear my thoughts and opinions about that match, make sure to check it out. But after that match, Real Espanol, I was going to say. They do have Real in the name. But anyways, Espanol now risk their stadium being shut down because these were the scenes after Barcelona's second goal when Robert Lewandowski scored a second goal and assist by Fermin Lopez, where a lot of bottles were thrown from the stands onto the Barcelona players in hopes to hurt them, and the referee noted that in his refereeing report. And this, of course, is important because as we've seen before, if it's not included in the refereeing report, even though the video, the cameras have caught it and the microphones have caught it, Real Madrid, I'm looking at you, they still don't do anything about it. But this time the referee did include that the Espanol fans threw bottles at Barcelona players. So now they risk having their stadium shut down for one match and having Espanol play without any fans, which has happened in the past. Now, Espanol were already under a warning since September 26, 2024, where during a match against Villarreal, the public or the fans, Espanol fans, started throwing objects onto the stadium, into the pitch, and a cup full of liquid hit the referee in the chest. And since then, they have been under warning, and now they did it again. So Espanol risking playing next match without fans. And well, I hope they do because you got to learn somehow, some way. By the way, how stupid do you have to be as a fan to do something like this? You know your club is under warning and then you go do this. All you're doing is hurting yourself because A, you won't be able to attend the match. And B, your team really suffers because these smaller teams like Espanol, they heavily depend on ticket sales. And one less match without ticket sales is a huge chunk of their budget. So absolutely stupid, but, actions have consequences. And if you haven't been taught that, well, your parents have failed you. Anyway, speaking of the match against Espanol, of course, with Barcelona winning 2-0 or 0-2, I should say, Hansi Flick was not too happy despite the victory, despite taking home 3 very important points, and despite starting the year with a victory, because this is what the German coach had to say. I think we have to acknowledge that Espanol put on a great match. The atmosphere here at the stadium was unbelievable. It was a derby, and I enjoyed it immensely. It was also tied to the result, and I'll say it frankly, we didn't deserve it. Again, I'll say it frankly, we didn't deserve it, talking about the victory, of course. But in the end, the quality we brought on the pitch after the changes is what decided the match, and I'm thrilled about that. Of course, talking about the substitutions, bringing on Olmo, Fermin, and Lewandowski, and Pedri, who changed the outcome of the match. Now, Hansi Flick continued. I wouldn't celebrate the first 80 minutes of our performance. Espanol has high intensity and very good dynamics, especially in aerial duels. They're really good, and we struggled a lot because of that. But in the end, we scored 2 goals and got the 3 points. I really like this about Hansi Flick. I've said it a million times before on the channel, and I'll say it again. This is how you improve. This is how you continue growing. This is how you win championships. When you have a coach that he won a match as important as a derby against Espanol, a match where for weeks Espanol fans were hyping it up, talking about how Joan Garcia is a rat and then they were going to get their revenge. A match where the stadium was super hostile to Barcelona and their players, throwing things onto the pitch, insulting the players the entire time. Any coach would have come out and said, we won, let's celebrate, this is great. But not Hansi Flick, because he's always looking for ways to grow, looking for ways to improve, and he's still not happy. And he's 100% right to be not happy because he's right. The first 80 minutes of Barcelona were not good. It was Espanol that created chance after chance after chance, and it was thanks to Joan Garcia that they weren't able to score. But What if Juan Garcia was having a bad day? What if we're playing against a team that has better firepower than Espanol, like maybe an Mbappe or something like that? We cannot be repeating these kind of performances. But of course, nonetheless, I'm still happy about the victory. But I 100% agree with Hansi Flick, and I'm very happy that we have a coach here that is willing to say these things even during victory. Because it's easy to say when you lose, oh, we got to learn, we got to improve. But it's tough to say those kind of things when you actually win. Anyways, speaking of Hansi Flick, the German coach has broken Tito Vilanova's elusive record. And the record I'm talking about is that Tito Vilanova played 38 matches in a row, well, coached 38 matches in a row where Barcelona scored. So that record was that Barcelona scored in 38 consecutive La Liga matches. And with yesterday's victory, Flick has broken that record with now 39 consecutive La Liga matches where the team has scored. And that's huge because when you take into consideration that Tito Vilanova, may he rest in peace, had the likes of Messi, David Villa, Alexis Sanchez, and Pedro as his attacking players. So it's very, very big to think that Flick has been able to beat that record with an Asian Robert Lewandowski, with an inexperienced Lamine Yamal, and with, of course, Coutinho. Now, Barcelona so far have scored 53 goals this season, more than any club in La Liga, with a goal difference of 33. Not bad for a team that started this season. They started bad, and not bad for a team where their attacking three, Lamine, Rafinha, and Lewy, didn't play for a very long time at the beginning of the season, right? We had Lewandowski was injured, then Rafinha was injured, Lamine was injured with his pubalgia, and despite that, we have scored the most amount of goals out of any La Liga club. Absolutely huge. Now, speaking of Robert Lewandowski, of course, he did score the second goal for Barcelona, making it his 110th goal, and he is now the 12th top scorer in the history of Barcelona, and he's only 10 goals away from making it to the top 10, an elite list that includes the likes of Luis Suarez, Lionel Messi, and Rivaldo. Now, let's look at the list of the top 10 goal scorers in the history of Barcelona. Of course, in number one is Lionel Messi with 672 goals. Number two is Cesar Rodriguez with 225. By the way, that's absolutely insane that Messi in first place has 3 times the amount of goals of second place, Cesar Rodriguez. Now, of course, Messi was here for a long time, but nonetheless, that just goes to show how great he is. But in third place, we have Luis Suarez, 195, then Kubala, 193, Eto'o, 130, Rivaldo, 130, Mariano, 129, Patrick Kluivert, 122, Carlos Resach, 122, Josep Escola, 120, in 11th place, Risto Stoichkov, 117. And in 12th place, Robert Lewandowski, 110. Again, 10 goals away from making it to the top 10 all-time goal scorers in the history of FC Barcelona at 37 years old with only his third season at Barcelona. What an impact has Lewandowski had. Can you imagine had he come to Barcelona in his prime? Whew, my goodness. Anyways, Barcelona with that win, of course, they have made it now that they have extended their unbeatable streak against Espanol. The last time Barcelona lost against Espanol was February 21st, 2009. That's crazy. That is 16 years ago, where Barcelona lost 1-2 against Espanol at home with 2 goals of Ivan de la Peña, and I think Eto'o scoring the only goal for Barcelona. And since then, Barcelona have beaten Espanol 22 times and drawn 7 times. Also, Barcelona have gotten unbeaten in 17 matches in a row at Espanol's stadium. I mean, at this point, they should just name it Barcelona Stadium. The last time that Barcelona lost at Espanol Stadium was in the 2006-2007 season. Crazy. And to think that Espanol believe that Barcelona are their rivals, no, we're not. Let's be real here. Anyways, of course, Barcelona's victory was not possible without Juan Garcia's MVP performance. And speaking of goalkeepers, we do have to talk about Marc ter Stegen because, as you know, Girona are very interested in signing him. And Girona have reported that they are willing to wait for ter Stegen until the final day of the winter transfer market. Now, so far, ter Stegen wants to stay because even though he does need minutes to be the starting goalkeeper in Germany for in the World Cup for Germany, of course, he does want to compete for a top club. where he can compete for important championships. That's not Girona. Girona are looking to avoid relegation. And also, Ter Stegen wants to stay in Barcelona because he wants to be close, to, of course, to his children because he's sharing custody with his wife, well, ex-wife, after they got divorced. So we'll see whether Ter Stegen changes his mind. But just know that Girona are willing to wait until the final day of the winter transfer market. Now, another player that Barcelona will be keeping their eye on during this winter transfer market is the former academy player Mika Marmol, the 24-year-old center back who currently plays for Las Palmas in second division. And it's not that Barcelona are monitoring him because they want to sign him. It's because Mika Marmol's contract expires in the summer of 2026. So this will be the final window where Mika Marmol could leave and Barcelona could make some money. How can Barcelona make some money? Well, Mika Marmol has a 10 million euro release clause and Barcelona own 50% of the rights of the player. So if Mika Marmol goes somewhere else for a transfer fee or for the release clause, Barcelona would get half of that. Now, I doubt any club would pay 10 million right now for Mika Marmol because, again, in the summer, he will be free. So why would any club pay the release clause? They're going to want less. Otherwise, they would just wait until the summer to pay to get him for free. And also because he is playing in second division. So 10 million euros for a player whose contract expires in a few months and who's playing in second division is going to be a lot. But either way, if any club signs Mika Marmol during this winter transfer market, Barcelona will get half of that fee. Otherwise, in the summer, he leaves for free. And Barcelona don't get any cents or any pennies. Anyways, we'll end today's video with the news that Real Madrid had the chance to sign Pedri when Pedri was at Las Palmas. Now, this story was revealed by Pepe Mel. Pepe Mel was a coach of Pedri at Las Palmas. And when Pedri was playing at Las Palmas in second division, Real Madrid were very interested in signing him. However, Butragueño, who works in their scouting department and Real Madrid's scouting department, said that no, that Pedri was not good enough to play at Real Madrid, and he advised that Real Madrid move on in their search and not sign Pedri. Can you imagine? If I was Real Madrid, I would fire this guy, Butragueño, but since I'm a Barca fan, I really hope he stays at their club for the rest of his life because what a guy. Thank you, Butragueño, for telling Real Madrid that Pedri is not good enough. Anyways, that is all for this video. I'm going live in a few more moments, so stay tuned to the channel. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, and as always, Viscarsa.